This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.
Thank you to Sphere Rocket VA for another episode of the Icon Podcast. I'm your host, Gianna, and welcome, JC, to the show today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Yes, us too. We're excited to get to know you. And that being said, why don't you take us back to the beginning? Who's JC? What market are you in now? Where are you from? And how did you find yourself in real estate?
Okay, yeah, loaded question. So I currently live and work in San Diego. Greater San Diego, I guess. We cover the whole county. I live in Point Loma and have been in San Diego for over 20 years. I came here to attend a school at SDSU and was sold on them. And at that point, I wasn't determined to be a realtor in college. I just got settled here for the lifestyle. I grew up at the beach in Hermosa in the LA area, Hermosa Beach, and I always surfed and lived a coastal lifestyle. So once I found this place, I figured this would be a good spot to be. And it was really just a matter of figuring out how to make enough money to live here. And eventually after college and wasting, I guess, a year, you could say, trying to move into the equipment financing industry, I shifted gears and went to mortgage first before I eventually pivoted to real estate. And I've been, I think I was first licensed in '03. So I've been doing this a long time.
Okay, awesome. So then was EXP your first brokerage, or what drew you to EXP and convinced you to make the switch?
Well, no, the answer is no. It wasn't my first brokerage. My first brokerage was actually a lending office that did both in the early 2000s. And it was an independent firm. And after my time there and I switched to real estate, I was in a fortunate position to pick up REO accounts during the down years and was selling foreclosures like a madman. At that point, I actually became independent. I had my own brokerage. And actually let that go to join the Whistle team long before he joined EXP. So I actually came over to EXP as part of Kyle's move to the brokerage. Super
cool. Okay, a little bit of history to that. That's crazy. And the first time I've heard that version of the story, that's really cool. So then, JC, I know you've probably got a long list of great mentors here, people that you love to work with. But what is it about EXP that makes you say, I am never leaving this place? If it wasn't for Kyle Wisdom.
Yeah. So clearly Kyle introduced me to the brokerage, and I was kind of more loyal and kind of sold on him and what he brought to the table before EXP. But boy, I don't really know that there's another brokerage that offers everything in such a myriad of different directions as EXP. As far as obviously the tech is huge, and the culture I think is probably more important than all the other benefits. I mean, I talk to agents a lot of the time about joining the brokerage, and I kind of have to back off first and say, like, where are you struggling? Like, what is most important to you? Because I could talk to you for like an hour about all the benefits of this brokerage, but let's go ahead and focus in on what's most important to you. So yeah, I mean, the stock thing is pretty cool. I actually sold at a decent time, a bunch of it last year, and that was neat. And I, before that, you didn't even realize how much you're kind of stocking away with the investment program. Being able to add the rev stream with recruiting agents is pretty cool. The splits are great. Like, there's just a lot that goes. But like I said, before all of that, the culture, the mentality of helping one another, and the power and the production of the teams that are part of the brokerage is probably more important than anything else. I think what they've built is what attracts those people, and those people are really the reason to stick around.
Absolutely. The collaboration here is just, it's untouchable, really. It's extremely beneficial to everybody that comes here. There are no secrets held to their chests. You know, you're getting all this information and collaboration secrets for free. And it's just such a huge staple to the EXP, the sparkle, I guess, that EXP brings to the industry.
Absolutely.
So JC, tell me, obviously you're a high producer, you're busy. It looks like you've got your own brand going and you're scaling that up. So what do you do to take care of JC? How do you make sure you're avoiding burnout mode and you've got a decent work-life balance going, if it even exists?
Well, it's funny that we have this scheduled for today. I actually just got back from Mexico. I took my family down to Baja, which is literally a quick hour drive across the border, but you are, actually leaving the country, and it feels like it as well. So while the travel is close and quick and extremely inexpensive, you really get an out of the country experience. And I scored some really good waves with my buddy, and while my wife and kids and his wife and his kids were hanging at this house we rented. So I try and plan trips like that. When I'm not on vacation, I am either at the gym or surfing Monday through Friday and done before 8 a.m. And my day starts. So I'm getting exercise. I'm enjoying the weather. The whole reason I live here is to be, proximity, like have close proximity to the ocean. It's just my passion. I love it. And that's really what keeps me charged up. And having good health is a good thing too.
Absolutely. Definitely keeps you charged up, when you're dealing with your mentors or your mentees, clients, people on your team, whatever it is, you have to find what recharges you or you're just going to be miserable. A lot of people laugh when I ask them that question, like, what is work-life balance? And to be fair, it's hard to come by in this industry, but it's important.
It's tough. I also make an effort to at least leave the office, if not be home by 6, so that I can actually have a few hours with my wife and kids at the end of the day. I feel like one of the biggest things about productivity in our daily lives is managing our time and our calendar. And that has to overlap into turning it off as well. And so, if there's fires to be put out or a deal that's going to be lost, like I'm going to work in the evening. But unless it's something like that, I'm going to set my phone aside and I'm going to spend some time with my wife and kids at night and be done for the day.
Yeah, that's great. It's great to set those boundaries and make sure you're able to recharge and invest into that family time, because at the end of the day, it's so important. It's just such a huge part of your life, and it's so easy to put it to the side knowing like, oh, family's forever. But I think it's a really important investment no matter what you're doing or what industry you're in. So good for you, JC.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So let's talk a little bit about the Icon Award through JC's eyes, right? So let's, talk about the production that you have to do in San Diego, because obviously it's going to be a little bit different than production. Maybe they're doing in Alaska or, other places where the market isn't as crazy. It is crazy everywhere, but just not the same price points and demand. And let's talk about, the benefits that you took away from the Icon Award, what you liked the most about it, and also how you give back to EXP. Are you a mentor? Do you teach lessons in EXP world? Again, a loaded question.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, the answer to the second question is, my selection or choice is the mentor work. And, I've got various people that I work with, and I try and keep that in control too, as far as when the meetings take place, and make myself available if things are needed, but in between times, we'll just have regimented times to meet and make sure they're on track. As far as what does it mean? Like, it's nice to be recognized, and it's like to get one of these in the mail. You're like, oh, cool. That's like something you can put on your desk, and
it's a good looking award.
Yeah, you can feel proud about it. So it's nice to have the thing for the mantle or whatever, but it's also nice to get stock awards for a little pat on the back for your production, and just kind of to be recognized as someone who's in the business for real and not just dabbling. So all around it's great.
Absolutely. And like you're just reminded every day of what could potentially be a little nest egg in there for you, whether it's retirement or, down payment on dream property of yours, or, whatever those stock options mean to you. It's been different to every icon I've talked to. And that's what's so cool about it. The opportunity to retire in real estate, a game plan, a future plan, a nest egg, whatever it is. It's been really cool to, somebody's paying for their daughter's wedding with it. It's crazy, how that adds up over time. And it's more than just a glass trophy that you're going to have to pack up and move with you when you move to the next house or the next office. It's got a lot of untangible but really valuable things behind it.
For sure.
That's awesome. So JC, let's talk a little bit about newbies to EXP, right? They see all these big names and they're icon award winners, like you work with Kyle Whistle, who's, in our intro, and that's a big name. You're a big name. We've got a lot of people that are iconing, several times throughout their career with EXP, and these newbies are seeing that award. They're seeing all the benefits that come with it. Now, is that something that's practical for them to go after in their first year, or what's some advice when it comes to tackling EXP as a whole and reaching for the icon award as a newbie?
Yeah. So, one of the biggest pieces of advice I give to newbies, again, I have conversations like this with agents, whether they're experienced considering looking at EXP, or if they're just new in the industry and trying to figure out where to hang their license. But for the new folks, I think they ought to find a team like the one I'm on, frankly. And I tell people all the time, like, I wish that something like this existed when I was brand new in the business. As I mentioned earlier, I started on mortgage, not real estate, but I basically had a few days to a week or so of training on kind of the basics in lending. And then they got their title rep to throw a form pack at me about that big and say, just dial and we'll help you figure it out, once you got somebody on the hook. And I was like, that was my training. And then I look at what the newbies at this team get right now. So there's just, a full 40-hour work week of simply onboarding to begin with. And it's not just teaching them how to do their job. It's teaching them how to use the tech stack of 20-something pieces of technology that we use here, and how to do the job well and not just, like half-ass it, and how to take advantage of the tools, the resources, the relationships, the systems, the structure that we all offer, not to mention the mentorship and the teaching. Like, there's so much that comes with joining a team like this, that you're going to change that learning curve. Everyone's going to have a learning curve, and it's rough. There's a reason so many agents fall out of this business, right? So it's a steep learning curve, but you are going to just shrink that down by joining a team like this in an immense way, both the time and the difficulty. You're going to be able to learn from those around you. You're going to be able to bypass hiccups that people like me have had to deal with on their own, and just slow down the trajectory of their career and everything. Joining a massively producing team is you're going to know if you have what it takes or not. Because if you can't produce, like here, people are coming in the door all the time, but they're also going out the back door if they're not producing. So you're going to learn what you're made of, and you're going to learn what it takes to actually be a producing realtor. And some people maybe don't have what it takes, but boy, if you've got that grit, you're going to do well, and you're going to do it faster than you would on your own. That's for sure. Even if you're just independent with EXP, joining the team like this as a new person is the fastest way to getting that icon award. And I think 100% it's within reach. It's totally something that a new person can do within the first 12 months in the industry. An experienced person like myself can often knock it out within 1 to 3 months. So why can't someone who's new do it within their first year?
Absolutely. No, that's great advice. And, to really lean into your mentors around you and make sure that, you're taking these tools that EXP is providing you, picking them up out of the tool belt, learning how to use them and apply them. And that will go really far in your career with EXP, because if you don't dive into the resources that are provided to you, you really have to be a self-starter here and really indulge yourself into this environment if you want to succeed as far as being an icon. You could probably be successful, I don't know, if you want to focus on recruiting or whatever else, or sell 2 houses a year, fine, whatever. But if you want to be a high producing icon, level agent, that's going to have to be something that you really dedicate yourself to. And it's possible, but you're really going to have to be a self-starter on that.
For sure. And it's required even if you're in an environment like this. But yeah, absolutely. If you're on your own or part of a lesser team, it's going to take a lot of grit and a lot of drive.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And JC, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about being skeptical of EXP because, of course, you had a unique experience coming over. You really respected the person that was deciding to make the jump. You wanted to follow his wisdom, and which is great because he's a trailblazer here at EXP. And right behind him, you're another bright flame that he has lit and inspired. And it's been exciting to see, you guys just kind of paved the way here. But for those that are on the fence, they see the grass is greener and they hear things that other brokerages have started, out of fear of losing their agents, which makes sense. Like, hey, EXP is a cult. It's a pyramid scheme. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. What would you have to say to somebody that's listening right now, sitting on that fence?
Oh, that's easy. I mean, first of all, talk to somebody who's actually part of the brokerage instead of someone who's shooting darts from the outside. And not just to get a jaded perspective, but to get an honest understanding of the good and the bad and everything in between. Or like, honestly, I attend a Monday mastermind that Kyle and Dan put together every Monday. It's an hour, and it's a perfect example of what I was talking about earlier with it being more than just about the brokerage and all the things that EXP offers, but about the people that have chosen this brokerage. And this mastermind is high level. There's people that are new. There's also people that are leading teams that are part of this group, covering relevant topics of what it's like to deal with issues inside the business today. It's not a bunch of agents who are done with production and just looking to drag people into the brokerage. This is a mastermind about how to be more effective for your clients and how to increase your production. And if you attend just one morning like that and see what's going on with this 300-400 person group from all over the country, just only tied by the binds of being part of the same brokerage and having one person introduce the other person to the company, and now there's this group talking about high level stuff, like they'll realize that those little darts from the exterior are fictitious, really, and hold no weight. So it's there's easy ways. All you have to do is have an open mind and look into it a little bit more. And
just
for sure.
Talk to somebody that's over here, like you said. Talk to somebody that's inside enjoying the greener grass on this side of the fence, because you'll learn what they had to weigh out when making the jump and why they chose to go with EXP. If you simply list out the pros and cons and look at the fees that your brokerage is charging you compared to how EXP treats their agents and their broker, I mean, it's an easy decision, and that sense of loyalty makes it tough. And I get it, and I've heard it all. But at the end of the day, the number one thing I hear on this podcast is, I wish I had done it sooner. And
yeah, for sure,
that's what everybody says.
Yeah, it's just a good place to be, and it's nice to know that, let's say you're not part of a team, your splits, your fees, everything is very straightforward, very reasonable, probably more so than just about anybody else out there. And it comes with so much more. So the benefits are higher, the costs are lower. What are you complaining about?
Seriously, what are you waiting for? And if you're saying no now, well, we'll expect to hear from you in about 3 months when you're like, I think I'm ready.
Yeah, or when that copycat company flops.
Oh, yep, that copycat imitation is the best flatteration. But hey, you guys, if you look at the history of EXP and how many trial and errors they had to go through to be the flagship that they are, you'll see that you probably should. You're not a bandwagoner for jumping on. This isn't this isn't a big game where there's two teams and at the end of the year you could just pick which one's your favorite. No, this is it's trial and error, and they've failed until they didn't, and here they are, just blazing trails, and it's not too late. The boat hasn't left, and it's time to move forward.
Totally.
JC, it's been great talking to you today. We're approaching 20 minutes. It's a solid time for a podcast. Do you have anything that you'd like to leave the listeners with today?
Gosh, if you haven't yet accomplished the goal of becoming an icon agent, it's it's within your reach, I would say just decide, first of all, if that's a priority for you, if that's the production level that you're trying to get to, and then talk to those around you. I'm sure you've got a mentor, someone who brought you into the brokerage, maybe a team lead, and just make it clear, hey, this is something I want to do. Help me get there. And if you've already been there times over, then congrats. You've got bigger and better things to do, I'm sure. Like my last year as well was one of the best ever. And just getting Icon again was kind of just the beginning after all was said and done.
That's awesome, JC. JC, thank you so much for sharing your story today and your advice to the newbies and those who are skeptical, and even those just, trying to scale up and hit that Icon this year. It's been a great episode, and look for me at EXPCon and shareholders, because I'd love to get connected there and pick your brain a little more.
Yeah, and tell Justin I said hi. I met him in Vegas at EXPCon last year.
Yes, yep, I'll be there with him, kind of his little protege, just kind of taking on all you EXPers at the same time. And I am so excited for it. They like to say, you're smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And there's going to be a lot for me to learn.
Yep, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I'll tell Justin hello, and we'll be seeing you soon, JC. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Gianna.
Bye-bye.
This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success, and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.